Welcome back. In the previous part, we headed here into the storeroom of the pawnbrokery, and we now need to speak to Gregson, because we've already done a little investigation around the place. Wait, did I look at the gramophone? Must have, well, not literally that, but something related to that. Anyway, the scene of the crime. So, Inspector, what do you make of the crime scene here? Pshaw, you've got eyes, haven't you? Use them! It is what it looks like, nothing more, nothing less. Iris, could you lend me a hand? So, Gregson, what do you make of the crime scene here? Oh, yes, your ladyship. Do allow me to humbly explain. Last night, at shortly after the hour of 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotland Yard police attended the scene. The one and only door to the storeroom was found locked from the inside. So it was locked from the inside. I do think like that there was a scuffle out in the main shop. They tried to escape into here, but weren't aware? Gina wouldn't be aware of the little door, but surely Windybank would. So why didn't they run in, lock the door, and then hide off to the sides? Or could they not? Is there not enough room? Don't know, I need a proper look at this room, but it seems to be hand-drawn, so we probably won't. The lock appears to be broken now, though. Was that the police officers doing? Quite right, Mom, quite right. We took the liberty of smashing the door in as humbly as possible. Oh. As you can see, the victim was discovered prostrate on the floor, thuswise. And next to the aforementioned body, we discovered the vile gutter child. Are you talking about Ginny? She's my friend, you know, Inspector. Miss Lestrade, the hapless girl, was curled up on the floor, dead to the world. She's still alive, you know. Yes, when I saw her, she appeared to be unconscious. And I'm afraid to say, she had the gun that was used in her hand. No. Presumably. It's the gun that's still down there on the floor now. In her pocket, we found the key to the door as well. What? The key to the storeroom? Yeah, she was locking the door, like... And you say the storeroom had been locked from the inside, Inspector? Like, why would she lock herself in otherwise? They were trying to escape someone. The people that, you know, kinda shot Shlomes. Correct. All of which leaves her ladyship friend in something of a sticky situation, I'm afraid. Not really. Kind of obvious, this bit. It's that sort of thing, like, it's kind of obvious, this bit. That's the key thing there. This bit, what isn't obvious? Obviously, my personal opinion is that it's all some sort of misunderstanding. Of course it is, Inspector. Of course it is. I mean, it is. Clearly. Grexy, do you know anything about Hurley? Is the operation finished? Is Hurley alright? Is he? The thing is, don't mention words, Inspector, please. You don't mean to say that Mr. Shlomes is... No, the operation's done and dusted. It's just that, well, out with it. Yes, smart. We use something called a general anesthetic. It's the latest thing, renders the whole body insensitive. The whole body? Anesthetized? Is that even possible? It means the operation can be completed while the patient is fast asleep. Goodness. In the Empire of Japan, we can just manage to provide laughing gas for a tooth extraction. The trouble is, the latest thing isn't always the greatest thing, if you follow my meaning. They couldn't get the medication to work at first, so it took hours for him to nod off, or so I hear. And now that the op's finished, they can't get him to wake up, apparently. Oh my. No one knows if it's the anesthetic still in the system, or if the bloke's just plain exhausted. Probably exhaustion, I'd say. That's the bit that makes sense to me. But anyway, all they can do is stand back and watch until he comes around again. Hurley. The moment he opens his eyes, your ladyship, I swear I shall get word to you. What a surprise. Even in matters of life and death, Mr. Sholmes has to do things his way. Alright then. But do we only get more from him? Really, did we? The only thing we got, really, was... Alright then. When did that get into the court record? Hound of the Baskerville. Can you read any of the words? The Hound of the Baskervilles. How did Suzuto-san know the exact title of this unpublished story? Suppose I'll just have to wait until she's ready to explain it to me. I'm so sorry. No, tell me now. What do you know? I don't see anything else there. But it's to me it's this sort of like... But both of these. What was written on the back of this one? Gentleman's overcoat. And one small box. Not entirely sure here. I'm assuming we're meant to move off to a different place, so let's go back to the main shop. No? Okay, this seems kinda odd to me. Baker Street? No, okay. Let's go to the hospital based on what we were saying. Maybe he's there? No! Prison then. That's where Gina is. There we go. The 16th of April. A local prison. Cell 13. Gina doesn't appear to be here. I believe she must be in questioning at the moment. Oh, but wait a minute. What is it, Iris? Well, if you examine the scene here carefully, there's another possibility, isn't there? She scarpered. Ginny could have slipped the key from the jailer when he wasn't looking and escaped. Oh my. What? Why would she do something like that? It would only make her situation worse. Calm down, Runo. I was only joking, of course. Oh. You had me worried there. Thought it was a great deduction. Yes, it must be your way with words, Iris. You're so wonderfully persuasive. Perhaps you don't fully understand the weight your words carry. Oh dear, I'm sorry. I suppose a light-hearted great detective is a contradiction in terms. Well, in the same situation, I'm sure Mr. Sholmes would have just thrown his head back and guffawed. I'm not entirely sure that's helpful, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, anyway, looks like we won't be able to talk to Gina for a while. Should try to make progress with our investigation in the meantime. Yes. Come along then, Runo. Come along, Susie. Okay, if she's not here, then where the hell do we go? Shall Suite? No. Fire's on. Bit dangerous. I doubt it's going to be the Chief Justice Office. It can only mean like we've missed something somewhere, doesn't it? Or we need to do some presenting. Because if you think about it, he's the only person we could speak to at the moment. I'm going around in my head to the places. He's the only person we could speak to them. So let's present some stuff to him. Let's start with the manuscript. Is that what I think it is? Your ladyship's latest... Yes, my latest story. It's called The Hound of the Baskervilles. A most fascinating title, your ladyship. Fascinating. And, I don't suppose, would there be any mention of my humble self in the tale this time? Good question. Can't really remember. I see. Well, why would you, your ladyship? Yeah, I'll just await its publication with eager anticipation. You needn't worry, Inspector. Sure, if you do appear, you won't be doing anything particularly remarkable. You could be arrested, Sunshine. I didn't mean it like that. Even if I did, you wouldn't have bitten her ladyship's head off, would you? Alright. Inspector Gregson, could you give me your opinion about this? Do you think? We don't tend to share, Sunshine. Not with the general public. Oh. In that case, Grexy, how about some herbal tea? Glug. Glug, glug, glug. Oh, lovely. Tar very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. You don't mind sharing that, then? Okay. Inspector Gregson, could you give me your opinion about this? Do you think... No, that's going to be the same again, isn't it? Okay. No point presenting that, because we've already kind of done that, haven't we? So let's go with this. Inspector, what do you make of this? Ah, what have we here, then? A redemption ticket for an article deposited here, is it? Looks like someone ran out of office stationery and wrote the ticket on whatever paper was to hand. Yes, it's the ticket for McGilded's overcoat. The one that little diver turned up with yesterday. I mean, it's not. It's the box one. Small box. Oh, actually, no, it's not. There you go. I was going to say, like, that, I didn't choose that one. Really? You know better than me, do you? No, I didn't mean to, Bruno's right, Grexy. It isn't the same ticket. Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. I never doubted you, your ladyship. So what's all this about, then, if I might be so bold as to ask? This is a second ticket. A second one? Seems that Mr. McGilded, in fact, had another article in storage here at Windybanks. Is that right? I think we need to discuss this further with the inspector, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, good, because he's ever so easy to talk to. The second redemption ticket, there we go. This ticket was in one of the pockets of Mr. McGilded's overcoat. Huh? You mean to tell me? Yes, there was more than just the music box disc, it seems. I should have insisted on the lads taking it back to the yard and examining it properly. Well, going to the details of this ticket. Mr. McGilded deposited another article here with Mr. Windybank. Yes, I can see it written here. A small box, was it? Do you have any idea where it is, Grexy? Any idea at all? It's another article belonging to Mr. McGilded. It could be an important clue. Well, yes, I suppose it could be. Please stop looking at me with those big turquoise eyes all full of hope and expectation. It's too much pressure. I'll lose me marbles, I will go barking. This is no time for dog impressions, Inspector. That's enough sauce from you, Sunshine. There is one thing that springs to mind. According to this ticket, the redemption deadline's already passed, hasn't it? Oh yes, of course. Articles are only held for 2 months. So the small box will no longer be in here then. That's right. It's been forfeited. Which means it could be on the shelves in the front shop, where the forfeited items are offered for sale. Yes, the shelves in the front. We must search them at once. You're wasting your time. Oh. There are dozens of little boxes out there, hundreds even. We can't possibly know which one might have been McGilded's. That information's not written in the ledger. Well, I think we should at least have a look. Just in case. Of course, your ladyship, of course. Very sensible of you, I'm sure. This is getting old. Alright then, so where... Is it one like here? Is it like is still in the storeroom? No, because we still got. Let's look for like we'll go back out to the front then. And we need back to main shop, and we'll see. Anything pops up. Nothing from you popping up. It feels like it's. Like it feels like it's that one because it's like it's so prominent. And it doesn't. Maybe it's that one, but it's like that one's so prominent there, that little box. So. Yes, this is where all the items that have been forfeited by their original owners are offered for sale. That's right. We've all got little price labels on them, but there are so many. I wonder if the small box this ticket was for is still on the shelf somewhere. The box that McGilda deposited here just over 2 months ago. Even if it were, finding it promises to be very troublesome indeed. There are so many boxes. Could be any one of them. Mr. Shalom said that the pawnbroker's was the safest place to store anything. More secure than the bank's vault. Perhaps this small box of Mr. McGilded's contains something of very great value. Well, if that's the case, he'd probably have kept it locked. So then we need to find every box with a lock and break them all open. Hiya! Oh god, there we go. That sort of misconduct would get you arrested. I won't let that happen. This takes me back. It's been some time since Suzuto-san last threw me. Like, you look back on that, like, fondly and with nostalgia, like, what? Okay, let's go back to Gregson. Anything else we can present him with? Like, not at this point, is there? It's just very sort of like... We're definitely done in here, aren't we? And the only thing I can think of now, based on my experience with previous Ace Attorneys, is... the fact she wasn't there, she probably could be now. No. Okay. Let's go to the hospital, maybe he's there now. No. Huh. I'm at a loss. Like, well, where? Where? Unless... Let's have to re-examine that shelf and we do actually smash open the boxes. Oh no. It's very strict. No. I nearly went there then. Unless there's something else to examine here. Unless converse. Let's present something to you. Oh, my manuscript. Mr. Shalom said he deposited at Windybanks and he had. But it's so strange. What is it about this particular story? I worked so hard on it. Why would Hurley say I can't publish it? I'm afraid I have no idea. All you can do is wait until he's ready to tell you, I suppose. Oh, maybe it's because Hurley isn't in it enough. Maybe I didn't give him enough good lines. Yes, maybe. I wish you could say that definitely isn't the reason, but just can't. Okay. Ooh. Maybe now. Maybe we could change the colour of that. Mr. Naruhodo, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's something rather troubling here. I have noticed. The red smear, you mean? Yes. Looks like blood, doesn't it? I wonder if Suzuto-san had picked up on that. In that case... Yes, we need Iris. There we go. We should show this to her before we forget. This is what I'm missing, isn't it? Yes! Bycap photograph number 2's information has been updated in the court record. Yes. That's what I needed. Oh, that looks like blood. I would say it's from a gloved finger, but almost certainly a glove made of leather. Well, don't worry, Runo. You can leave the rest to me. There we go. Purple. I'm guessing purple. That was a joke. I expected it to be green or blue. Look at that. Yes, that's a colour we haven't seen before, isn't it? We simply must add it to the portfolio of blood samples. It could be an important clue. Although, it would be nice to find out whose blood these different colours correspond to at some point. Well, this particular stain of blood. Oh, you've had an idea, haven't you? Do you know whose blood this is? I mean, I guess it would be, yeah, I think I do. But is he in the records? Oh, well, I think I do, but it's, thrice fired. Yes, I have an idea whose blood it is. Not from the colour it turned, but with a little deduction. No, it's the, You know? It's generally like, huh. Thinking about it, it's like, whose could it be? That's right. I think it's clear. Iris, you know as well. You first, Runo. Who do you think it belongs to? Who do I think it belongs to? Alright, I believe that this blood is the blood of... Ah, there we go. It's like... Are these... I was thinking for a second, like, maybe it could have been... the driver? Somehow? Of the omnibus? But he isn't on the list, so... Thrice-fired Mason. You don't sound very sure yourself, the way you trailed off there. Oh, it was 2 months ago now, that case. And of course I'd never met the victim, so I'm struggling to remember his name. It's definitely thrice-fired, though. The victim of the omnibus case. Yes, his name was indeed Mr. Thrice-fired Mason. But that would mean that this bloodstain was left on the ticket 2 months ago. Yes, I think it was. Oh, we are on the right track. I was just worried there, like the way they were saying it is like, wait, am I wrong here? Gina brought this ticket here to Windyback's yesterday. I'm suggesting that the bloodstain was already on it at that time. So it's a smear of blood from the time that Mr. Mason was killed 2 months ago. Something else is coming back to me now. Mr. McGilded was also wearing leather gloves that night. Now I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? Wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? Reached out to give the man a hand. Certainly does look like a leather glove thumbprint, this mark. We know that Mr. McGilded had no injuries at the time anywhere on his body. From which we can conclude that any blood on the glove belonged to the victim, Mr. Mason. Mr. Nadahodo, you sound just like Mr. Shlomes. Minus the quirky slip-ups, I hope. Yes, I think you're right, Runo. Very well. Let's make a note of this. The details of the pawnbroker's ticket for the coat have been updated in the court record. Blood analysis data has been updated in the court record. Where now, though? Oh. Hey! I nearly jumped out my skin there. Could Mr. Windybank set such a wicked trap? I doubt he set out to scare anyone. Is that really the time? I think perhaps we should pay Gina another visit soon. There we go. Oh? Her trial is tomorrow. We must establish whether or not you will be defending her. I think we should ask her one more time. She may have changed her mind. Don't you remember, Runa? You told her she could rip up the representation papers if she didn't want you to be her lawyer. Really? Did I say that? Yes, you did. The deadline for submitting the paperwork is fast approaching. In that case, we'd better hurry back to the prison and talk to Gina again. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we've got an idea what we're doing. I mean, I know what I'm doing. 16th of April, 5:41 p.m., local prison, cell 13. There she is. Ah, Gina, good. You're back. Hey. The police must have finished questioning her then. Oh, how was it, Ginny? Was it awful? Yeah? Oh, it didn't bother me. Thank you for the papers you signed before. It meant we were able to investigate at Windybanks. Oh, right. Don't you want to know how we got on? We've been ever so busy. What's the point in asking? Won't change what everyone's saying, that I did it. That's not... Gina, we came to ask for your final decision. Eh? What decision? About tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you or not? I must submit the paperwork now if you'd like Mr. Naruhodo to represent you. Right. I see. She's really lost her fight all of a sudden. But I know what that feels like. Story is just so hard to bear. Alright, so... what we got? What we've uncovered. Oh, alright then. Blimey, give it a rest with them eyes, Iris. Come on then, fill us in. Who done it? Fortunately, we don't know that yet. You don't say. We don't know yet, Gina. But Mr. Naruhodo and all of us know that you are innocent of this crime. And while we haven't yet managed to work out who the real culprit is, there are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish. Oh yeah? Like what? Well, for example, the reason for you being there in the first place. I think I know now why you broke into Windybanks that night. Looks like I'm going to have to take some evidence that clearly reveals the reason. And thrust it in Gina's face. Or I could present it to her calmly, I suppose. That's clearly going to be the manuscript then, because that's what she was after. Clearly. Representation in court. We already have the representation papers and other documents we need. All we have to do is hand them to the court clerk. That is, if you'll allow me to represent you in court tomorrow. Nah, don't bother. Ginny, rip them up and chuck them, would you? Them representation papers or whatever they're called. This cell ain't fancy enough to have a bin. So, what will you do in court tomorrow? I'll be fine on my own. I don't think you will be. Look, it don't matter. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. This is one stubborn pickpocket. Alright, so let's see about presenting the manuscript. We found this in Mr. Windybank's storeroom. The manuscript of Iris's latest story. Huh? Oh, right. Well, that's good then. Curiously, the storeroom at Windybank showed no sign of being ransacked for items of value of the like. With one exception. The box file that housed this manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, Gina? Who broke open the box containing the manuscript last night? Eh? You were determined to find out whether or not the Hound of the Baskervilles was really there. That's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it? Why don't you tell us what happened, please? But I think this will actually be a lovely place to actually end this part here, and we'll see in the next part about asking about Iris's manuscript. So we'll see you in the next part. Ta-ta for now.